Jay-Z is in serious trouble. The very people he once crossed are now coming for payback. Former Bad Boy bodyguard Gene Deal has dropped a bombshell, claiming Jay-Z is next on the hit list, and even Beyoncé is quietly preparing to distance herself. To make matters worse, Diddy has reportedly cut ties with Jay after feeling betrayed during his trial. The walls are closing in, and it looks like Jay-Z's past moves are finally catching up to him.
Funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was some...
Jay-Z isn't a stranger to violence, but this time, the tables have turned, and he's the one in the crosshairs. 4 years, Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have warned that both Jay-Z and Diddy are dangerous men with dark histories. Now, those warnings seem to be coming true. Diddy's already behind bars, and insiders claim that for Jay-Z, what's coming next could be far worse. It's starting to look like karma has finally decided to collect its debt.
Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince, these four gentlemen that got together, they're going to put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
But Suge came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording funds, 10% goes to the union. And each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds raided me.
All of us were being hit up around the same time. Someone left that meeting talking about our move.
It was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those Leo Corner to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're gonna make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they gotta come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand collective economics.
The industry has started labeling Jay-Z a rat, and it's not without reason. Many haven't forgotten how he allegedly paid Lance UN Rivera to keep quiet about the infamous stabbing incident. Back in December 1999, Jay-Z pleaded guilty to third-degree assault after Rivera was attacked at a nightclub. Yet, to this day, Lance insists that Jay-Z never stabbed him. Why the silence? Because everyone knows Lance was paid off and pressured to stay quiet. In an industry built on loyalty and fear, speaking out against someone as powerful as Jay-Z can be a dangerous move, and Lance clearly knows it.
Top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know I'm not a perfect person.
Jay-Z shows no remorse for what happened. In fact, he's openly bragged in interviews that stabbing Lance UN Rivera was the best thing that ever happened to me. Just think about that for a second. How twisted do you have to be to call stabbing someone a positive turning point? It's a chilling glimpse into Jay-Z's mindset, cold, calculating, and completely detached from accountability. Meanwhile, he's still pressuring Lance to stay silent, even though everyone at the Kit Kat Club that night saw exactly what went down. The only person denying it is Lance himself, and that silence speaks louder than any confession ever could.
The incident with Rivera, you know, where you pled guilty to charges. I don't remember exactly the charges. Assault with a charges of assault with a deadly weapon?
They would have never let me be
okay.
out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay, all right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you're on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still a kid from Marcy Projects, and you know, not everybody, they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad it didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to parties with 30 people. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not putting myself in that position.
Yeah. When you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you could find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of club.
First it was Diddy, and now it's Jay-Z. It's starting to look like someone is systematically coming after the so-called villains of Hollywood. And if the pattern continues, Jay might be next in line to face the fallout. Even Ice Cube has suggested that Diddy's downfall wasn't organic. He believes it was carefully manufactured. Think about it. 1 year, Diddy's a billionaire jet-setting across the globe. The next, he's lost $700 million and landed behind bars. The speed of that collapse doesn't add up. And now, whispers are growing that Jay-Z could be walking straight into the same trap.
Diddy. You're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
Yeah, he's produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of, you know, lost contact with him and really stopped, you know, dealing with Puffy around 94.
Yeah. Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, you know, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. You know, that just ain't what I'm in it for.
Jay-Z might project toughness, but when things get real, he's not built for confrontation. Back in 1996, during the height of the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry, Jay-Z reportedly locked himself in a Las Vegas hotel room, terrified of a possible clash with Tupac. According to Gene Deal, it was Suge Knight, the powerful head of Death Row Records, who stepped in to defuse the situation. Suge personally convinced Tupac to let Jay-Z be, just so he could perform that night. It's a story that strips away the bravado and shows a very different side of Jay-Z, one driven more by fear than by strength.
What's the story behind Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac?
All right, what happened is that I guess Pac had got whiffed that Jay-Z was in town. Well, you know he gonna do a show because Jay-Z, he doing a show. But you gotta realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said some was gonna do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands. Black Hands was one of the labels who did that Black Gangster had every artist in New York on. And Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive, and he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not gonna come out the room because Tupac threatened him. So he's not gonna do his show. Can he make some phone calls, you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit? So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared. Probably still is scared.
Even Gene Deal himself once admitted he wanted to knock Jay's head off. And honestly, if Jay-Z were really as dangerous and untouchable as his reputation suggests, would someone like Gene feel confident saying that out loud? It's telling. The people who actually know Jay behind the scenes don't fear him, they question him. The image of a ruthless, untouchable mogul starts to crumble when those closest to the truth no longer see you as a threat but as a fraud hiding behind power.
Jay-Z, and one time I wanted to knock his head off, because he was being disrespectful. We was in Cancun and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industry Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door, I said, yo, Jay, you good, and 3 of your others good, but the other 3 gotta pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you gonna make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because, one, she was beautiful, 2, she's from a block. I wasn't gonna do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation, you know what I'm saying? But he was being...
Diddy and Jay-Z were allegedly tied to the same crimes, and there are eyewitnesses who claim to have seen it firsthand. On the streets, everyone knew the two were working together, moving in the same circles, and covering for each other. Gene Deal even revealed that he personally knew minors who had been involved with Jay, yet somehow, Jay-Z never faced arrest. The industry closed ranks around him, keeping the truth buried for years. But just like with Diddy, those walls of silence are starting to crack. The lies are unraveling, and it's only a matter of time before Jay-Z's empire collapses under the weight of his own secrets.
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
It's no coincidence that just as reports surface about Jay-Z being targeted, Diddy is facing multiple attacks behind bars. In the past 2 months alone, there have been several attempts on Diddy's life, and the only reason he's still breathing is because a corrections officer intervened at the right moment. This isn't random, it's calculated. Someone powerful is orchestrating these hits, sending a message to both of them. And if Diddy's situation is any indication, Jay-Z could be next in line.
Something very scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and, quote unquote, saved him. Yes. And so, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, I think in some sort of protected environment. Remember MDC, isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Yeah. Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe because in court, we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course, they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being in court. And we can and just attacks on his life because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like he's looked at as a trophy in jail is crazy.
Call it karma, but for the first time in his life, Diddy is genuinely afraid, terrified of being sexually assaulted in prison. The man who once thrived on control and intimidation is now facing the very same kind of fear and vulnerability he inflicted on others. It's a chilling twist of fate. The power he abused for years has completely turned against him.